Maybe. Barry chugs his drink.
Trying to look like my screen was frozen for a second.
Yeah, I was like, are you moving or are you not? Are you okay, Barry? Did we lose you? What's going on? You had me nervous there for a second. Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Music's still on. There we go.
There we go. There we go. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another ThrillGeek This Week live stream. We have been doing them on Thursday, mainly pending Halloween Horror Nights announcements. We didn't get one this week because we got another announcement from Universal, and as soon as Universal made that announcement, I was like, okay, we're probably not going to get a Halloween Horror Nights announcement today, which we'll talk about that announcement later. So, anyways, let me bring up... Hey, we got Caden in here. What's up, Caden? How you doing? Good to see you.
Yeah, hey, Caden.
Michael, how you doing? Good to see everybody. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. So yeah, we got some topics to talk about tonight.
Remember when we used to have summer vacation?
Yeah, right?
I can barely remember when that happened, but
It is. I see that the thunderstorms decided to show up late, so you guys might be hearing. I don't know if my microphone picks it up, but it's.
I was hearing some of it earlier.
Yeah, it's. I'm looking out the window right now. The trees are blowing, so I apologize. My microphone's usually pretty good about picking up any kind of thunderstorms or anything. So, but anyways, as far as this weekend went, Barry and I we were out at Universal, which we'll talk about that later. And then, yeah, I can't think of anything else really to kind of kick things off. The few things that you know what, let's kind of chat about the first couple things. I didn't get the article up on it, and that was my fault. I apologize. I'm gonna bring a tweet up on it.
The article hasn't happened, and this park probably will not happen. So I mean. I think.
I'll just bring up our tweet because it actually did
we're
pretty
not
well.
missing out on anything. So
let me scroll down here. Let me scroll down.
$2 billion resort and park in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I had to figure out where this was. I forgot what the name of the city that it's going in, but it's like far northeast Oklahoma. Supposedly where this thing is going.
You know, I mean, I think the only thing that makes this interesting is there are some very talented people who are apparently at least working on the concept for this park.
And somebody on Twitter did some digging about the owners, and apparently they're very wealthy business owners or something. I can't remember who on Twitter did the digging. But there were a lot of people saying that, you know, maybe the theme park, they also announced, I think it was a campground and like
RV
an
resort.
RV resort and something else, and everybody was like, well, maybe that's going to happen. But and the biggest thing is that when they announced this theme park coming to Oklahoma, they said it was going to be opening up in 2026, which is in according to my watch 3 years. So
now it is flat there, so it might be a little bit easier to
build
the dirt
it
around. It's also out in the middle of absolute nowhere, so it might be a little bit easier to build it. Yeah, I mean, I think the most interesting thing is if you look at some of the concept art for this park,
especially this one right here.
Some things look very familiar.
I spotted this out a little bit after I shared the pictures on ThrillGeek's Twitter. This is Velocicoaster concept artwork right here. Over here.
Now, I mean, albeit Velocicoaster's not the only Intamin with a top hat, but
this is pretty darn close.
It's pretty close.
This area has this kind of bayou, kind of New Orleans kind of bayou.
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing I don't get with this park. I mean, I'm not the only one who says this. Why do I want to go to an American-themed park?
In America.
In America.
I mean, given, Disneyland is, themed after Walt's home, so,
I mean, Main Street USA is based on Marceline, Mississippi.
Yeah.
But, Disneyland is made up of lands, we know what happened with California Adventure when you tried to make it a park about the state that you're in. It didn't exactly do very well, and they've slowly over the years changed most of the theming in that entire park.
It says American Heartland is a $2 billion theme park and resort development in Northeast Oklahoma. The 1,000-acre resort destination is expected to attract more than 4.9 million guests per year in Oklahoma.
I don't know where that's going to come from either.
5 million guests a year. And then here's some of this is the Bayou Bay area that I was just showing you.
Yeah.
Some of the themed areas.
Listen, I mean, more power to them if they get this thing built.
Great Plains.
I mean, they built that park, and there's that park that was built in Alabama that, I mean, has done okay, barely, but not exactly. No one seems to be rushing to get there.
Yeah.
And that one's off the beaten track too. So it's. I mean, albeit it's not far from the beach area there.
I guess this is going to be the campground. Three Ponies RV Park and Campground.
You know what? It comes down to, I believe it when I see it. Unfortunately, like there's just not been a good track record with new regional parks. I mean, like I said, there's the one in Alabama, and then there's the other one. There's one up in the Northwest that hasn't exactly done gangbusters either.
I mean, look at Hard Rock Park. Hard Rock Park is another one.
Oh, Hard Rock Park is the shining example of how not to open a park, and also not knowing the market you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's and also you built the park, you spent all the money building the park, and you had no money left for advertising.
Yeah.
But you know, it's like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. But on the other hand, also it's in Oklahoma, and I'm sure someone will give me crap for this, but I've been to Oklahoma.
My wife is from Oklahoma.
I know she is, and that's why I'm going. She'll probably give me crap for that. I never want to set. I really could give two craps ever setting foot in that state again.
I mean, there's some Oklahoma City's cool. There's some cool stuff to do locally in Oklahoma City, but other than that, you know, I mean, when the few times I've been there, you know, we've done the bombing memorial. I mean, that's not necessarily a fun thing to do.
No.
Quite the exact opposite. But there's stuff to do in Oklahoma City. Outside of that, I really, you know, I'm kind of the same way with Oklahoma. And it's just like, you know, we'll see. You know, like you said, more power to them if they get this theme park up and running. If we ever go back to Oklahoma for some reason for you know, family related stuff, then, you know, if it's open, I'll make my way up there. But
Next.
The other big regional park news, Cedar Point continues to tease the updates coming to Top Thrill Dragster, and it looks like we have a date of August 1st where we will finally get the big reveal of what they're going to be doing with Top Thrill Dragster. And it has been closed since that. It's been closed since that incident with that lady that got hurt on it, right?
Yeah, it's been closed for a while. You know, I mean, I'm hoping it's something good. I hope it takes advantage of. I mean, my biggest issue always with Top Thrill Dragster is it is a one-trick pony. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing trick, but and I realized, you know, the cost of that ride is the reason why it just goes up. Does a twist, comes back down.
Yeah, like you said, for what it is, it's, you know, that launch is unreal. You know, but
every time I've read, you know, from the first time I wrote it, it's like, how much more amazing would this thing have been if there would have been another, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 feet of track?
Yeah,
to burn off all that energy instead of you coming down and then
just
immediately
slamming the brakes on. Yeah. Well, the crazy rumor now is that apparently. And this is a rumor, but the strong rumor that's had some legs to it is it's going to be a Vekoma themed, or Vekoma is going to kind of take over, and they're going to build some sort of a spike at the back end, because apparently giant footers have been spotted at the back end of the station, right there, kind of in between Iron Dragon. So, but the rumor is now is that they're going to build a spike, and it's going to stall out and kind of do the back and forth launch thing, which I don't know. I'm going to be very curious to see where they go.
Which
with this.
I mean, I the only reason I could see that because since it's no longer, it's going to use what limbs now.
Yeah, they're going to replace the hydraulic launch with the magnetic launch. It
might take having to go up a back spike
to get the momentum,
to get them out to launch it forward, go back up the back spike to launch it to go forward, to get up enough speed for the limbs to set it up over the top.
Yeah.
Because it's which once again, this will make this whole coaster for me less desirable because I don't like going backwards on roller coasters. Yeah. My equilibrium does not get along well.
Yeah, same here.
So it's it will end up probably being a whenever I get up to Cedar Point again, if it is that type, it'll be like a one and done.
One and done. Yeah. And then, as a lot of these regional, Cedar Point is always for throwing Easter eggs into stuff, and a lot of people are speculating what the 3 V's mean in this get revved up. Yeah. Some people were saying that it was 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. That could be the new speed for it, which I don't quite understand because they're not making the ride any taller. So I don't know how the new 125 mile an hour speed could be something that would make sense because it did 120 and it made it over that hill just fine, so why would they need the extra unless they add like another hill or something? I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways,
we'll find out August 1st.
Yeah, we'll find out August 1st, and of course we'll bring you everything as soon as it's announced. With all that stuff. So one more quick regional park thing. Legoland Florida announced that their Flying School roller coaster will be closing. For those of you that aren't familiar with Legoland, this is kind of their suspended family coaster. You can kind of see it here in the picture. And
it was originally put in when they did the Cypress Gardens redo. The Cypress Gardens amusement park redo.
So it's been there for a while.
I mean, I don't think I think the only time I rode it was back when it was Cypress Gardens. I don't think I ever, like the couple of times I've been to Legoland, I've never rode it again. So.
It's one of those rides where they can only run one train on it, so the wait is usually fairly long. Yeah. The several times I've been to Legoland with my kids, it's always busy. So I've only ridden it maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 dozen times I've been to Legoland with the kids. Whenever they, invite us down there for something, or we go down there just to go down there. So, it'll be closing August 16th.
Yeah, so hopefully that it'll be replaced by a more well-themed, higher capacity attraction.
I'm hoping that I'm not getting my hopes up, but that family B&M wing coaster, that Legoland, what Legoland park was that got that B&M wing coaster?
Was it
the family one?
In New York, or was it one of the European ones?
I don't think it was New York. I think it was. I can't remember, but it was their family themed wing coaster. About. Yeah, it was. It looks really cool. That would be amazing. I would love to see a family style B&M wing coaster come into Legoland. So, moving on, we got some tidbits of information from Busch Gardens on Howl-O-Scream. They announced this sale on tickets. It says the offer provides saving up to 70% on single night tickets starting at $32.99, which is always a great deal. And you got to purchase your tickets by July 30th. And then they Busch Gardens kind of put together their announcements into this new press release with this sale. The new additions this year are the D.H. Bagham's Circus of Fear House, Big Ed's Demolition Derby, which I believe is a scare zone, and Sin City Zombies, which is what this concept artwork is themed after, kind of a, zombie-themed Vegas scare zone, which sounds pretty interesting. And then, of course, they announced Stranglewood Estates will be returning, which is a crowd favorite at the event last year. and they just announced the what's the Christmas one.
Home for the holidays.
Home for the holidays, or yeah, they just announced that one will be returning as well, which is the best kind of Christmas, is a spooky Christmas. So I'm glad to see that one back.
Yes.
As well. So, all right, moving on. We got some new details from Disney World and Epcot and the Disney 100 celebration that'll be going on there. Not a whole lot. We're going to be getting a photo op, a mural. It says there will be an all new mural at the Heart of World celebration to see. There will be 100 Disney characters throughout the mural. It'll be located along the Walkway to World Showcase and will feature some of your favorite characters hidden throughout the various neighborhoods of Epcot. And then they said the rest of the World celebration will also be decked out in Disney 100 Platinum banners and decor. Then, of course, Minnie and Mickey will be there for a photo opportunity in the Imagination Pavilion. And then they'll do the special Spaceship Earth light show, and it'll be accompanied by a unique rendition of When You Wish Upon a Star. And, of course, what would a Disney celebration be without a lovely new popcorn bucket, which would be a purple metallic one.
I'd be willing to bet, I know this is shocking, that at some point they will announce a cupcake.
An Epcot Disney 100 cupcake?
Epcot Disney 100 cupcake. And maybe, just maybe, an Epcot Disney 100 alcoholic drink.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
But yeah, so, and this will all be going on pretty late. I don't think I put the dates on
a year
here.
after we started celebrating the 100th
Clint, you
anniversary.
fail. It starts in September.
Yeah, I think it's September 22nd, I believe.
Yeah, I need to add. I need to add the dates to our article.
Why I remember these things.
I fail as a theme park blogger.
That is why you fail.
That is why I fail. So yeah, a few little things going at Epcot for Disney 100. You got the photo op with the Mickey statue and the Disney 100. Popcorn bucket, some photo ops. Mickey and Minnie will be there at Imagination Pavilion in their Disney 100 attire. And that's about it. So we'll have to see if we get any kind of, like Barry said, maybe some food, maybe some. I don't think. Disney
you know what? Not a cupcake, a new waffle, new waffle at
Connections Cafe. Yeah.
I forgot we don't do cupcakes at Epcot anymore. It's
all about the waffles. So, all right. Moving on, I think next we can chat about the DreamWorks stuff. I don't have Disney 100 at Epcot. Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah. This was announced today, like I said earlier in the stream. I was wondering if we were going to get a Halloween Horror Nights announcement today. We did not. But we did get the announcement of a new DreamWorks land coming to Universal Studios Florida. Obviously, this will be replacing Woody Woodpecker's Kid Zone.
Yeah.
And not too many details were released. You can see from the concept artwork, obviously it's going to feature Trolls, Kung Fu Panda, Shrek, the three big Trolls properties. Gabby from Gabby's Dollhouse will be there. Then it says...
Is that a Netflix show?
Yes, Gabby's Dollhouse, but it's a DreamWorks show on Netflix.
Netflix, yeah. That's what I...
And then it says guests will be able to explore themed interactive play scenes and attractions that bring popular franchises like Shrek, Trolls, and Kung Fu Panda to life in the most imaginative, fun ways. And then it said it'll be opening in 2024. Now,
and then what? Based on additional concept art we looked at, it looks like Woody Woodpecker's getting a Trolls theme.
Yeah, I can actually pull up, if you give me a second here. I actually discovered this wider concept artwork was on the website. It's a little bit wider of a shot. I don't know why they didn't. Yeah. They released this one, but you can see up here in the upper right-hand corner. That's obviously Woody Woodpecker's, formerly Woody Woodpecker's Nut House coaster. And you see this little spider creature. So I think I went on Google and I literally Googled Trolls spider because I remember seeing those spiders in the movie. I just wanted to make sure. And sure enough, these are the creatures. I found a picture of them and I posted it on our Twitter account.
Yeah.
And there's I kind of cropped it out. So clearly, Woody Woodpecker's Nut House Coaster is going to be what appears to be themed to Trolls. And then there are going to be other attractions themed to Shrek. I would imagine we're going to get the Shrek meet and greet back in this land since it was taken away with the
I would imagine
Minion Land.
I imagine it's going to be more heavily themed, and I mean, I wouldn't expect much from this land. It looks like based on some of the shots we've seen from our friend Bio Reconstruct on Twitter, there might be one or two more flat rides going in here. It's hard to tell right now. It's funny thing, we were talking about this Saturday when we were at the park. It's like they seem to be very much taking their time for this, and then this announcement pretty much confirmed that they were trying to hold this for next year.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure someone might have to be to do with the fact that maybe they're also looking at the infrastructure for when they do Halloween Horror Nights to make certain things easier with queues and stuff for Halloween Horror Nights. Or they could also be, there's been talk that this DreamWorks land really is just sort of a placeholder, that it's only going to be something that may only be here for a certain amount of time, 5 or years or so.
Yeah.
So they may be pre-prepping whatever they're going to do after this too, and that might be why things are taking a little bit longer. But it seems more like that they want to have something to open next year, even if it's like probably, I would say, very early next year. At least they say they have something for 2024. So
yeah, and that was kind of that was the discussion I think a lot of us were having when this started construction. Was I think you and I and we all kind of had the conversation of they were going to have to get this done quick in order to accommodate Halloween Horror Nights, and everybody thought this was going to be a quick turnaround, a 6-month, quick paint job on Woody Woodpecker's coaster. I mean, when the construction walls went up with the DreamWorks characters on it, that was kind of a giveaway what it was going to be.
And hasn't part of Kids Zone had some drainage issues too for like when it really stormed really bad? I feel like
I recall, yeah. So maybe they're gonna fix that stuff too as well. I think over by Curious George.
Yeah,
I want to say, but yeah, I've seen pictures on Twitter before of when we get a deluge of rain. I do recall somebody posting pictures of one area of Kid Zone having some sort of drainage issue.
I think some of the pictures we've seen from above from the helicopter, I think they've torn up.
They've torn up a lot of it.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I mean, if you're talking about like replacing drainage too. Which wouldn't be surprising considering the age of the park now.
Yeah.
That takes a while too.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, DreamWorks Land coming to Universal Studios in Universal Studios Florida in 2024. Obviously, as Universal Studios Florida announces more details, we will bring them to you as to specific attractions. I had somebody say, "Oh, why isn't How to Train Your Dragon going to be there?" I'm like, "You do realize that they're building a theme park down the road called Epic Universe, right? You might want to look into that."
Have you seen the giant dragon totems?
Yeah, going back to Bioreconstruct,
that are very, very hard to find, hard not to see now.
Exactly.
even from like the road, they're not that hard to see.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we'll bring you more details as Universal Studios announces them for this new DreamWorks land. I opened up that twice. So, all right. Before we dive into Villain-Con Minion Blast, you want to kind of chit-chat about Singapore Halloween Horror Nights? Yes, Singapore has a Halloween Horror Nights, for those of you that didn't know. They announced some other details for their event over there at Universal Studios Singapore. They're going to have 500 houses. So that shows you right there how literally half of what we get here in Orlando.
Well, their park's not as big.
Yeah. But 3 other houses they highlighted here are Rebirth of the Matriarch, DIYU Descent into Hell, and Grim Encounters.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because much like same way with Japan with there's not really the ghost thing, but they I just look up Universal Studios Singapore Halloween Horror Nights. There's a bunch of videos for it on YouTube. They're really about like the theming, the live entertainment, the scare zones. Everything is very elaborate there. It's very impressive. And then, like I said, they do, even though occasionally they do have IPs. They're more about the original stuff every year.
Yeah, they're getting the All of Us Are Dead Netflix show in a haunted house. You can see it right here announced. This scare zone sounds really cool. Dead Man's Wharf. It says.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. It says brings visitors face to face with real life historical figure, Madame Dragon, the fearsome legendary Chinese pirate, and her motley crew.
See, and I like that they're doing more of they're reusing a name, but then they're like that would be really cool to have like a scare zone with like Chinese or Asian pirates.
Even this scare zone sounds familiar. The hacker, a destructive AI brings an AI being reigns supreme over a terrifying cyber hellscape where technology feeds off the desperate souls of mankind. What scare zone does that sound like that we just got a couple years ago? And then there's the Curse Kiramam. I think I'm saying that right. The Curse Kiramam. Indian village cursed by the gods, whose once prosperous inhabitants now exist in a state of perpetual torment. Venture in to see if the villagers can escape their impending doom. And then they got 2 live shows. They have a dining experience. We have all the details up on ThrillGeek.com if you want to kind of look into it a little bit more. But yeah, Universal Studios Singapore. Their event runs from September 29th to November 4th. So they're also getting November dates as well. Which is
and
cool.
they just like here it's an extra event. It's not like the Universal Studios Japan where
it's included with your
where it's included with your admission.
Yeah. Yep.
They obviously don't do it as many nights as we do, but it's a huge thing there. And like I said, go on YouTube, check out some of the videos. It's really really cool, and they even have their own version of Jack some years. So
yeah, I've seen him before. He's interesting.
Yeah, so it's really.
Yeah,
like I said, I think the only interesting thing is the fact that they're not getting to Stranger Things, which I believe they've gotten to Stranger Things before.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll get it next year.
Yeah. So, and I believe Universal Studios Japan has announced a few things. I'll have to go back and see if they've announced anything new. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to mention, because Universal Studios Singapore does have a Halloween Horror Nights event, and they recently announced more details, so I just kind of wanted to quickly go over it.
Yeah, but definitely both. Albeit this is I'm the guy who hasn't been to Hollywood either, but it's like both Singapore's and Japan's. I mean, that is like bucket list, like HHN.
Yeah.
If I can get all 4 HHNs before I die, I will be a pretty happy person.
I've heard Japan's HHN is a blast. Like it's a
because it's like it's so different. Than,
I've heard
because
it's like
you have
huge...
the houses, but yeah, then there's like these huge like scare zones. Some of them are scare zones / like dance parties.
They're like parties. Yeah,
it's wild because they have and the really cool thing, and this is I think we've brought, God knows how many times we brought this up. If they would just bring over like their family stuff during the day is freaking amazing.
Yeah, I think somebody said on Twitter, even the Minion stuff, like the Halloween Minions. Now that we have a Minion Land, I would love to see. They have like a Frankenstein Minion. I think, is it a Mummy Minion they have?
Yeah, they have a bunch of different ones. Fred Dracula Minion.
Yeah, I would love to see them over here at Studios now that we have a Minion Land.
Yeah, no, it's we've talked, like I said, we've talked about I think so many times on here just like why they don't do more family stuff, because I mean it's just like they could, even if they did it all over in islands or whatever, all you got to do is make copies of so much of the stuff, the Minion stuff, the Hello Kitty stuff, and do throw in some DreamWorks Halloween. There's a bunch of DreamsWorks Halloween specials. There was a few of them.
Yeah, they have the Shrek Halloween special. And,
so it's like you could easily bring this over here and really own Halloween even more so than they already do here. So
yeah, so.
But speaking of Minions,
speaking of Minion Land, Universal was nice enough to invite ThrillGeek out for a. Well, this was before they immediately after the media event opened it up for technical rehearsals. But
we were shocked that happened. Shocked, I tell you.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting it. But Universal was nice enough to invite ThrillGeek and several other theme park news outlets to cover Illumination's Villain-Con Minion Blast right before it went into technical rehearsals. So we got an hour and a half of the ride all to ourselves. We got to ride several times. And then right after that, I went outside, met up with Barry, and it opened up for technical rehearsals. So it was perfect timing. But yeah, we got to go out and or I got to go out for the media preview and ride it a couple times, take some pictures of the indoor queue. We weren't allowed to film on the ride at all, as this sign here strictly mentions. But we were allowed to take as many pictures as we wanted of the pre-show area. And here's a look at the blaster rifle that you get on the attraction. A lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. These guns are pretty big.
It's solid. It's got a good. I know some people are like, "Oh, my arm hurt." It's like I'd rather have something that feels right and the way I held it. I mean, I did the whole putting the back of it on my shoulder. I thought I had no problem throughout the whole thing. Albeit I'm 6'3" and not exactly a small person. So, but
kind of getting into the few issues that the people were pointing out is, and the guns were one thing. A lot of people are concerned with little kids with this. Is it going to be too much for them to carry? And also, when you get on the attraction is you you're literally standing on a luggage claim conveyor belt that moves through the former Shrek building. The space was utilized perfectly. It feels a lot bigger in there.
Oh yeah.
It actually, they utilized that space really, really well.
Because that building itself, I believe, is 4 stories tall.
Yeah.
3 or 4. And a lot of the rooms you go through, they are up there in height. It is.
Yeah. It
is a great use of space.
They're huge, giant screens. And then as you're going through the ride, obviously you're at Villain-Con, so the theme of the attraction is you are trying to become the 6th member of the Vicious Six. So you encounter several of the villains from the Minions movies in your journey through the attraction. And you're blasting away. It's pure chaos in the greatest way possible. And that was not really a bad thing. I was kind of confused as to what to shoot, and I was like, maybe that's because we had skipped the pre-show. And I went back and I saw some of the pre-show video while you're waiting in line in the queue, and they kind of go over what to shoot. I heard somebody say that if you shoot the villains themselves, obviously they're not going to give them those points. It's just like all these other shoot 'em up rides, like Men in Black, like Toy Story Mania. You want to shoot the obscure things up in the corners, kind of in the back. If you're just shooting and on every scene, the villain usually comes front and center. So if you're shooting at him, you're not going to get as much points as if you're shooting the minion way back up on the stairs or something like that.
No, and they don't really explain also like the cubes. When you shoot the cube, what changes the specialty button that you use. There, I think, and this was from what we had heard back when team member testing was going on, that we heard from some people, is they don't really explain really well what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I think that was my only concern with the ride is there's not a real there's I mean, I don't need, it's a shoot 'em up ride. I
Yeah.
don't need like a thorough breakdown of
No.
what I need to be shooting at. I'm just blasting away as it is. But I'll be curious to see if something happens, or maybe they add something to the queue video, or some posters or some signs in the
And I think
queue.
too, the for us, especially for us locals, I think the big thing is going to see is how is the app integrated. Obviously they did that. I went to Super Nintendo World out in Hollywood, and the app center.
We weren't allowed to film it, but we got a presentation from somebody from Universal Creative. I think he was from Creative. But he had his iPhone hooked up to a big screen TV, turned, sideways, so it looked like a big iPhone basically. And
Yeah.
he went through all the customization and all the things and it's really impressive what you're gonna be able to do. What I have up on the screen right now, this is how you're gonna see. I'm guessing it's done through NFC. You're going to be able to link your gun to the Universal app, and you're going to be able to go in and customize your blaster rifle. You're going to be able to change. There's two triggers on the gun. There's the main trigger, which is the one up here in the front, or right here, sorry. And then you have one up here further up front, in the front of the gun. That's your specialty attack, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And this is your grenade launcher. Your one that you only have a certain amount of uses of before it runs out. But no, he was going over all the specialty, all the upgradings, and hitting my microphone. All the things you're going to be able to do with this app once it wasn't working for the media preview, unfortunately. But when and if it gets up and running, it'll make the rewritability of this ride something that'll be really fantastic, because you'll be able to reride and unlock new things for your gun, and there's going to be all sorts of stuff to unlock, which was really, really cool.
Yeah, no, and I think it's a totally new style of attraction. It's wild picking up your blaster, and then you walk around the corner, and then it's like you're not loading into a ride vehicle. There's just the floor ends,
Yep.
and there's the conveyor belt going
got-
by, and you step on it. You step on a dot, and the big thing is you have to stay on that dot. Your gun will stop working.
Yep.
When you move off that dot. And it's so unique. I know a lot of, if you listen, go to social media, it's a lot of people have been mixed about it. It's fun, and to me that's what matters.
Yeah.
It is fun. It's fun shooting up. It's going to be fun figuring out. It's something that guess what I didn't do almost ever. Shrek.
Yeah.
I almost never did Shrek. Guess what?
Same
I'm probably going to do a lot more.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah. And the great thing too is, and a lot of people were kind of glazing over this fact, is this ride has no height requirement.
Yeah.
I mean, children have to stand on their own, and I believe regular wheelchairs are allowed on the track. You cannot take an electric, like an ECV.
No, you have to transfer.
You have to transfer into a regular push wheelchair. But there's no height requirement. I mean, as long as your kids can stand on their own, they can ride this attraction. So,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. This is what this park needed, was a great, fun family attraction. It's going to be great for families to compete against each other. It's such a great addition. I had a blast on it. I can't wait for the app integration to go live and start messing with that, because, like I said, that little preview that we got from the guy from Creative was really, really cool. I mean, I was blown away with how I wish we could have filmed it, because he went over so many things in such a short amount of time of all the stuff you're going to be able to do once you have this app integration into the attraction. But yeah, I have all sorts of photos up here on our article for the technical rehearsal opening. I have our video of the gun, the blaster that you use. So if you guys want to check that out on the ThrillGeek website, you can. But yeah, I loved it. I had a blast on it. No pun intended. So, all right, I think that's everything I had theme park wise. So let me get rid of that. I could probably get rid of you. Anything else going on, Barry?
Not really. I
Comic-Con's
mean,
going on.
Comic-Con's going on,
Started
so
up.
we'll probably have some stuff to talk about next time. Today has really been some animation, like Harley Quinn season 4. Pretty much, it's coming out next week.
Yeah.
which is great because we had to wait forever for season 3.
You love that show. I haven't seen.
It's so good.
I haven't watched it.
It's so great. But yeah, we should next time have a little bit more out of Comic-Con because the WGA and the SAG-AFTRA strike, not as many big things or panels are happening. There's still going to be a lot of announcements, new trailers, and stuff coming out of Comic-Con.
That PlayStation 5 that they announced for Spider-Man 2. Oh my God, that thing was beautiful.
Yeah, that might be Spider-Man 2. This might be the thing that finally gets me to
get a PS5. Yeah, because it's not coming out on PS4, right?
Nah.
Yeah, it's.
and I'm definitely that might be the thing that finally gets me to.
It looks so good with Venom and everything. I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited for this game.
I think, like I said, there'll be more coming. Nothing really else pop culture wise is going on right now, except for obviously Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yep.
Which Sin and I with some friends are going to see Barbie Saturday, and then I'm going with some friends to see. They're doing Barbie, the Barbenheimer thing. They're seeing Barbie first, then Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
I'm probably just going to Oppenheimer, but we'll see both of those. And actually, when I'm not doing that, we'll be at Universal this weekend because her brothers and stuff are going to be in town. So we'll got a busy weekend coming up here.
I think we're trying to see Barbie tomorrow night, and then I think we're seeing Oppenheimer. I think on Sunday. I think we're seeing it. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, no, I'm excited for both of those. It's so awesome on Twitter and stuff, seeing people all dressed up in pink and everything for Barbie, and it looks like people are having so much fun going to see that movie.
On top of the fact that both movies have gotten rave reviews, which is always a good thing when it's like for stuff people are excited about stuff that's actually good. So it's like, but no, I mean, yeah, like I said, we've that's about it. Like I said, next time, fingers crossed, next Thursday we will have another Halloween Horror Nights announcement. But we should.
Things got to start picking up here soon because we have 7 weeks until HHN starts, and they still have 7 houses to announce.
Yeah,
all scare zones.
And like I said, we'll have some more pop culture to talk next week because I'm sure there'll still be some big news coming out of Comic-Con as far as stuff.
Yeah, and next Wednesday, I will be at Epcot for a food and wine preview media event, so look for that. Wednesday afternoon, I think it starts at like 2 or 3 or something like that, and it's going to be a preview event. It's probably going to be at the Odyssey again, where they just kind of showcase a few of the food items, some of the merchandise, so I'll be there covering that, so look for that. I can't think of anything else going on that I need to mention immediately as far as stuff coming up. We're kind of in a HH. Things are starting to pick up at the parks too. So I might sneak over to Universal this weekend and do an HHN construction video because I think it's going to get to the point where there's going to be enough there for me to
I think there's definitely enough now.
Some stuff has showed up in
New York.
Diagon Alley for the rumored return. Well, not return, but we're finally allegedly we're going to be getting Death Eaters in Diagon Alley. That's the rumor.
That would be nice.
That would be really cool to have them during Halloween Horror Nights. So, but yeah, look for maybe a Halloween Horror Nights construction update video some point this weekend if I get out there and do all that stuff. So, all right, I think that's it. Barry, you want to tell everybody where they can follow you, and then go ahead and tell everybody where they can follow ThrillGeek on social.
I'm at Culture and Thrills on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok. And yeah, be sure to please follow, especially my TikTok. I'm putting up videos multiple times a week now. And be sure to check them out. It's a lot of theme park fun and the occasional cute dog video. So, but we are at Thrill Geek on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Facebook.com/ThrillGeek.
All the social stuff.
Facebook.com/ThrillGeek. Please like and follow our Facebook page. YouTube.com/ThrillGeek. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, where once we get our first Halloween Horror Nights construction update, that's where they'll be going.
It's been like 4 weeks since I've uploaded our YouTube video, our YouTube account.
But twitch.tv/ThrillGeek, home of live streams. And, of course, ThrillGeek.com for the latest in theme park and pop culture news. And you can continue the conversation on our Discord channel.
Yes, you can. And as I've mentioned before, in regards to our Discord server, if anybody out there would like to help us kind of run and become a what do they call them, admin for the ThrillGeek Discord, reach out to me and let me know, and we can kind of go over it, because I kind of want to get all of our ducks in a row here with social media, and maybe I've done the hard. I've even contemplated getting rid of a few of our social media outlets and just focusing in on just a few of them. So, but I love Discord. I want our Discord to do well. So if anybody wants to kind of participate in that and help us out, help us grow the ThrillGeek Discord, reach out to me, email me, thrillgeeks@gmail.com, shoot me a Twitter DM, whatever. So, but as far as me, you can follow me personally on Twitter and Instagram. I am CG83. You can follow me on there. I'm always having a fun time on Twitter. I occasionally post to my Instagram, so if you want to do that, you can do that as well. So, all right. Anyways, guys, we will be back here probably again next Thursday, and we can chat about, like I said, the Food and Wine media event that will be going on, and if any HHN news happens, obviously we will be right back here Thursday evening, 8:30. So, take care, be safe, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you in the parks. Stay safe.
Bye.
Bye.